Allison J. Shattuck, Esquire. I don't know what to believe and where anymore. Some breaking news, though, for fans of the Burn Barrel podcast. Alice K. Shattuck, Social Security number 034621941. Originally from 18 Cross Street, Tough Street in Lexington, Massachusetts. Date of birth 2/10/80 is the owner of a brand new, gently used car. Ain't that true?
It's accurate. It's accurate.
Exactly. And if anybody sees it, license plate 0 Epsilon 568. Say hello to Alice. She'll be making her way to an undisclosed location to meet with me tonight with a bunch of kids in tow. We do have a house sitter in case you want to steal any of my really valuable possessions. If you don't, please go there and take anything and everything you want and kill a guinea hen. That is fine. Now, so it's a Mitsubishi Zero.
I have a Mitsubishi Outlander.
Okay. And I saw the videos. It looks awesome. Finally, we have a car that's in the digital age. This will be the first one we have that doesn't have a CD changer, which just makes us cool. You know?
The kids are disappointed. They don't know what to do with their huge collection of yard sale DVDs now.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we should toss those babies immediately. If anybody needs
Or we could get them like a junky DVD player for the playroom. Like just a cheap one.
Oh, yeah. Well, we do like them watching VeggieTales.
Mhm.
Okay, so a couple things I just want to say, Alice.
Yeah.
You're frozen to me. Now you're
I'm not frozen to me.
We're doing this but through StreamYard.
Yeah, it looks a little different. I didn't have time to adjust the branding, but I'm thinking this might be a better solution when we're not in the same place and change some of the delays because yesterday, if you watched the video yesterday, there were some problems.
Just on StreamYard, right?
What?
We don't need to give congressional testimony.
I just want to tell people who might be interested if you're watching, like there were some delays and the audio was a little funky with the video yesterday. Like if your audio matched, mine didn't. So it was like I don't know. Anyway, and if you're interested, DM me and I'll tell you more about my audio issues.
70 project. We'll be talking about Alice's video this weekend. How's that going for 70, by the way? Are you behind?
I'm a little behind.
I just moved my computer so I can naturally look at you.
You're also off center in your camera, and in StreamYard I can't adjust it. So fix yourself. There you go. Thank you. So StreamYard has a little bit more limitations than OBS, but it might work better for these circumstances. So we're going to give it a shot today, see what happens.
Can I continue with the show now, Alice?
You can start your show. It's cool.
Okay. Any more disclaimers about the video that you... So here's my question. You look very pretty, actually. The same day I get flagged by somebody on Twitter, Minifan on Twitter gave me a heads up. It's so funny. Gave me a heads up. Who was it? Oh, KG3000.
Okay.
Gave me a heads up that there was sent a Terry Garr video my way where she's introing somebody in the 70s or 80s, and I sent it to us, and she's wearing a Alice Shattuck Terry Garr sweater.
She is.
Yeah. Are you bringing your cute Terry Garr sweaters? I'm sorry, Alice. I can never stop thinking about her, and in intimate moments as well. I mean, it's too far gone.
That's really uncomfortable. That's really uncomfortable. But thank you, KG3000. He's a listener of ours from way back, actually.
Oh, by the way, now that Heather Thomas follows me as well, I'm going to dress you up a little different here. Check out something called The Fall Guy. It's a TV show from the 80s. You're going to want to get outfits that look like Heather's.
I don't think so.
Check out The Fall Guy, Heather Thomas.
I'm Googling it right now. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be dressing like that, but thank you for the idea. I appreciate your fashion input. But yep, not going to be dressing like that.
So, Yes, you are. Stop it. Dressing like that. I remember when we went on a date to Harry's bar in Brighton, and you had the "Oops, I Did It Again" outfit, leather
That
red
is not
outfit.
accurate.
So
That's
true.
not accurate.
Hopefully we
Don't
don't.
be
I
ridiculous.
bet you Eddie was with us and joined us. The
It did not look like,
Oh,
"Oops, I did it again." Are
oh,
you
yes, you
nuts?
did. Okay, but that's not the point. That's not the point. I
Stop.
look fatter again now. I think it's because I'm fatter again. So here's the thing, is that, last week or a month ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever, I read about, or somebody might have mentioned it, all these, chemical facilities in Ukraine that
The
were run or
biolab stuff?
right,
Mhm.
biolab stuff, right? And so I'm like, "Oh, whatever, maybe there's biolabs there. There are biolabs on the earth, and the United States no doubt has interest in them." And, somebody sent me something, a listener sent me a whole bunch of, federal US government links that talked about labs in Ukraine.
Okay.
I was like, okay, it's fairly whatever, interesting." And then I listened this weekend to to who's the gay guy on P Town? Andrew Sullivan
Okay.
and the Dish podcast, which is a great podcast.
Mhm.
And he had this guy on. He had this guy on. Hold on. Named Edward Lutwack, Luttwak, who's an extremely experienced military strategist. He's known Putin for 30 years, 40 years, whatever. He's been everywhere and everything. He's he's a guy to know. This is Andrew Sullivan's description of the podcast. I first came across Edward Lutwack when I edited him at the New Republic in its glory days. He's a military strategist, historian, and consultant in the quote Grand Strategy School of Geopolitics, who's advised many world leaders, and is basically a sui generis. Do you know what that is? SUI space
Sui
GENE.
generis, yeah.
Yeah.
It means, like, self-generate, like, coming from yourself, yeah.
Okay. He's the author of almost 2 dozen books, including Coup d'etat, a practical handbook, and most recently, The Rise of China versus the Logic of Strategy. His personality and brilliance come through in this chat. We discuss Russia's assertions after the Cold War, yada, 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 yada.
Sui generis is a Latin phrase that means of its own kind, of itself, in a class by itself, or unique.
So this guy gets on there, and he's a really fascinating guy, incredible, charismatic guy.
Mhm.
And he talks about the fact that Americans were doing biolab work in Ukraine in like 14 sites. And he essentially says that the lab work was meant to do something with Russians, something about Russians. And
Okay.
so everything that went from to me being like, oh, this is just like crazy fringy internet stuff. I heard him say that, and I was like, oh wow, so this is a real thing. So then today,
Mhm.
I get a call saying from somebody on the radio, and he says, "Well, just so you know, you're talking about, or you mentioned the biolab, and that's all false. It's all of it's not true." So that's a good look for you, Alice, right there. Look at you side eye. so,
I'm trying to stay hydrated.
so, I have no problem with you doing that. It was just, uh, somebody screenshot that, Alice,
No.
and make sure you post it.
Canceled. I'm not putting up the video now.
And
Canceled.
so, so then today I look and I can't find anything about the biolabs other than it's fake, 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 Russian propaganda, fake, fake, fake. I can't even find the links to the American government links that somebody had sent me earlier. I can find
Yeah.
nothing on these whatsoever. So, am I nuts here? What did it ever exist? Is this
I've seen the same stuff. I've seen the same stuff. I've seen the government links. I honestly I don't know what to make of it because the fact checker debunking was loud and adamant, and I don't know enough about it to evaluate that information like myself. Really, I just don't. Like, all I know is the same stuff that you're seeing out there, that everyone's seeing out, that people are putting out there saying this stuff, and then like the other people saying it's not true. I just like I don't know. I'm woman enough.
Hold
I
on.
don't know where Tom went, but I'm woman
Hold on.
enough to admit
What happened?
when I don't know enough about something. What are you doing?
Hold on. What happened? Are you there?
Everything. I'm there. Are you there? Are you there?
Hold on.
Thomas. I don't know where he is.
Hello?
But are you there now?
Check 1, 2.
I can hear you.
I'm not here anymore?
Yeah, you're not in here
Oh,
any I
oh, it
don't see
looks
your camera, and I
like
hear
the
you, but
camera
I
was on
don't
pause.
see you.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold
Yes.
So I'm not getting you anymore.
I hear you, but I don't see you.
It is Oh,
Nope, I
hold on.
saw wait.
Hello?
Hello?
I
There
can't
he
hear you though
is.
still.
I can hear you. Why can't you
Uh,
hear me?
okay. What the hell could be happening?
I
'Cause
don't know.
it's gonna be my fault. USB,
Something wrong with your
home, okay.
headphones?
It's all when I change this I change the thing. Hold on. Mute. Not mute. Turn for free. What have I done?
I don't know. I don't know.
What have
Do you want
I
me to keep
done
talking
here?
about the
Don't worry
labs?
about it. I'm gonna find out, Alice. Stay right there.
So
Settings,
I don't know what to make of the lab stuff.
audio.
Kind of like Tom was saying, like not
Use
knowing
codec.
what to believe about any of this. Like I just don't know what to think about the biolab stuff. And like I mean, and this Kira Rudik, who's the MP who's been on there and who's been on like all the Western TV stations asking us to like make Ukraine a no-fly zone. And the other day when she was on Fox, she said they want to bring in the New World Order. Like I don't know what to make of any of that stuff. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. What it doesn't change for me is the calculus that Putin's a bad dude. Like I'm willing to believe that a lot of bad stuff is happening in Ukraine and that that's not a positive, but Putin still kind of is not a great guy. So I don't really know, what to do with that info. And I don't know if Tom does either. I don't know if Tom's going to be able to, I don't know if he's getting any of my awesome content here that I'm creating, if he can hear anything I'm saying. No, I can't hear him. I see him, but I can't hear him now. And there he goes. I can't see him anymore either. So maybe StreamYard isn't the solution to our remote broadcasting problems. You know. But anyway, I don't know if he's coming back or not. Um, Tom, he's gone. I can't hear him or see him. Oh.
Your ringtone now.
No, they can't.
Oh yeah.
I had all sorts of great content that I was saying, and you missed it. So. hmm
Okay. So I don't know what the holy frig happened there, but I don't know how you're gonna put this video together, unless you're just
Well,
gonna have you just talking, which
I'll
is
just
fine.
have just me talking, and then I'll cut to this now that you're back.
Okay, because
Because
my audio is not gonna match your video.
I know, because yeah, it'll be different. But
I
I'll.
don't know what that was that happened, but I apologize. Where the hell were we? Okay.
We
Yeah.
were talking about. I agree with you. I don't know what I've seen all the same stuff you have. I don't know. I've seen those government links. Like I don't know what to make of any of it either. All I know is what one group of people is saying, and then what the fact checkers are all saying is absolutely not true. And I don't know what to make of it or who to believe about it. And I don't fully understand. Like I don't know enough about that to fully understand like exactly what the whole like what that means, even like what we're talking about these biolabs, like so what's the point? Because like Putin's still bad though, you know what I mean? Like ultimately at the end of the day. So is the point that this is like a pretext to draw us into a stupid war with Russia and Ukraine? Like yeah, probably, but that doesn't make Putin a good guy because he's not. So you know it,
Right. I mean, that's why this is such an odd time. Because who the hell can you trust? I can't trust. I don't trust this administration. I don't trust them.
or the fact checkers.
No, I don't trust them. I don't trust tweeters out there.
Well, and by the way, I mean, this was a thing like even a few days ago when the invasion started and everything. Do you know what the Azov Battalion is or Azov Battalion?
No.
It's like a group of Ukrainian nationalist groups with like a bunch of neo-Nazi ties that like fight the Russians. That's, they're a mess. But like Facebook used to not let you talk about them because they're considered like a neo-Nazi group.
Mhm.
And I had seen articles on them in the past about how like neo-Nazis were joining these sort of militia groups, right, in Ukraine. And now Facebook decided, they announced they'd loosen up their rules about talking bad about them, like about talking about the Azov Battalion positively, because now they're fighting Russia, who's more bad. So like now you can talk about them because you're allowed to you're allowed to say positive things about the neo-Nazi group that you didn't used to be able to talk about because now they're fighting against the Russians, And it's, I mean, notably, this is one of the justifications for Putin has for going into Ukraine. Like one of the things he asked for in the negotiations today is denazification. And like once again, like if you think he's going to stop with the actual Nazis in his denazification program, like guess again, because he's not. He's going to go for all kinds of people that just like merely disagree with him or wrote something bad about him or whatever. Like he's going to throw all kinds of people in jail. But the the Ukrainians, I don't think, are accepting his deal that he wants in the peace talks. I don't think they're going to accept this denazification stuff. But just because Putin wants denazification and he's going to take it too far doesn't mean there aren't Nazis in Ukraine too. I mean, there's all the things. I don't know what to believe. So much of this is too good to be true. The Ukrainian Navy has confirmed now that the Snake Island thing was not true. That those
Right.
people are all alive. They're fine. So that's now, I mean, it just it's too it's too ridiculous, this stuff that we're being expected to believe. And now Zelensky is like this sex symbol. It's like really weird.
Mhm.
It reminds me honestly of like at the beginning of COVID when they like named Fauci the sexiest man alive, and we're doing all kinds of stuff about like how sexy Andrew Cuomo was, and like speculating if he had
Homosexual.
nipple rings and whatever.
Right.
Yeah, like what are we doing here? Can you turn down the volume on that, my friend? Volume down, turn it down. Thank you. Um, so yeah, I mean, like, I don't get that. I don't like mass hysteria driven, like, we're gonna all fall in love with this public figure, especially when it's a like political figure. And the guy is like an actor, like a former
Mhm.
comedian who's been in all this stuff. So there's all kinds of footage of him out there. I sent you one today where he's doing a bit where he's like playing on a piano in an
Right, it's the
inappropriate
Hava
way, and like
Nagila or whatever it's called that he was playing
Hava
with.
Nagila, yeah.
Yep.
It's, I mean, yeah. So you have liberals tweeting things like this thing was retweeted and quote tweeted like more than 26,000 times. Breaking: every woman in your life now at least has a small crush on Volodymyr Zelensky, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And then there's like a million people in their replies, yeah, look at him dance. And they're like all posting these pictures. They're posting tweets. There's like him in fatigues. Remember that time Trump thought he could extort this
Yeah.
guy? Like all this, him on the like Ukrainian version of Dancing with the Stars. Like just act freaking normal. Just act normal, please. Here's a man. He dances, he acts, he presidents, he fights. I'm a straight 41-year-old man and I think I'm pregnant just watching him. Like, please, everybody, stop. It's so weird. It's so weird. Don't have this weird, unhealthy crush on the Ukrainian president just because you don't like Russia and you associate Russia with Donald Trump. It's so strange. Like, I guess it's like the reverse thing of like, we're going to throw out our Stoli vodka that's like not even made by Russia now. We're going to throw it away in the trash can, even though we already bought it. Like, and we're going to now have a crush on the Ukrainian president randomly. Like, it's this weird like group think, and I hate it, and I'm just disgusted by everybody. It's disturbing. And like, yeah, I knew people who were like this during Cuomo too, the same people who were like, oh my god, I can't wait for my date with my boyfriend. I have my coffee, I'm sitting down with Andrew Cuomo this morning, like for the whole
Yeah.
pandemic. Like, stop posting videos of how sexy you think Zelensky is. Like, yeah, he's an actor, we get it, and now he's like wearing war stuff and looks manly. Like, but this is all a propaganda campaign to try and get us involved in their stupid war. Like, I don't want any part of it. I dislike Putin as much as the next person, but like, this is they're this is a propaganda campaign for the West, and it's working because everyone is stupid. Like, why do we live in the stupidest universe? I don't understand it. I don't understand why everybody's so willing to all be told we're all gonna go fall in love with Zelensky right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's pathetic, but also this idea that this has to be somehow a referendum on Trump. It's like these people are preaching to be idiots. It's like, shut up, man. I'm sorry. In this play, Trump's not a character. You know,
Right? He's
so
gone. He's
no,
done.
no, except in the sense, and I've seen people who are in media say some things you need to know about this. Donald Trump withheld defensive weapons from this guy. Yeah, for 11 seconds before he poured weapons into Ukraine. It's like, but the idea that they have to even say it. This is Biden, Zelensky, Putin, Europe. That's all you have to know right now. And the Biden administration, what we played yesterday is unbelievable. Unbelievable with the energy sector, with the energy, saying that no, we're not going to drill more. No, absolutely not. We want to look into using less. This is a good lesson for us. It's like these people are still gaslighting us, effing around, which is why I don't trust the Biden administration any more than I trust the Putin administration. I freaking don't.
Has there been an explicit U.S. request to Saudi or to members of OPEC Plus to increase production given what's happening right now?
Well, without getting into specific details from here, just because it wouldn't be constructive to our overarching objectives, we have been in touch. I think you may remember that Brett McGurk and Amos Hochstein made a trip to the region just a few weeks ago to have conversations with the Saudis and others about a range of topics, including the conflict in Yemen, but also to have a conversation about the need to address any impact on the global markets. Global oil markets that we expect at the time could happen and could continue to happen as a result of President Putin's invasion.
Was any request made for a specific production increase?
Again, there has been an ongoing discussion about steps that we can all take as a global community to address any volatility in the market.
So that's the point. Is like nobody asked about Brett McGurk and Harold Rothstein and Yemen. It's like this political hacky doublespeak. There has to be a time, or there should be a time, when you speak like people in an emergency situation. But no, they're unable to. It's freaking incredible. It never ends with these people.
Yeah, she has like West Wing brain, where like everything is like a snappy, like, I know so much, and Brett McGurk, and this and that, and we met, and what we're gonna do as a global community to combat this threat of blah blah blah. Like, but she never actually says freaking anything. Like, but the West Wing was a TV show, Jen, like not reality. Like at some point you have to step up and deal with stuff. And like this entire administration, from Biden to Kamala to Psaki, who really are like the biggest faces of the administration, and maybe like Sullivan and Kirby and some of these other people too, like they are an embarrassment every time they open their mouths. Every time they say something stupid
like this. And you say that they have West Wing brain, and I believe that's true. I believe that Jen Psaki's appearances up there at the podium, those are geared towards Tommy, what's his name, and the Pod
Peter.
Save America crew.
Mhm.
Yeah, Peter, and the Pod Save America crew. That's who they're geared towards. And I'm sure they're texting each other saying, great job, go get him, Jen. Yes, exactly.
Psaki bomb.
But yeah, because they're not. She should be addressing the idea that we're not producing enough oil, and Russia has filled the gaps, and it's paying for tanks to crush Ukrainians. And not only that, but it's put us in a compromised position. That's something that you should address. Don't tell me who Brett McGurk went down to Saudi Arabia. I mean, this is craziness.
Yeah, what are we doing? Not Saudi Arabia. Like,
right.
It's so annoying, and it's so annoying because they talk to us in this way like we're dumb all the time. Kamala was doing it like literally right before Putin invaded Ukraine. Kamala was telling us that they had the best sanctions ever and they were going to work, and talking to everybody in this talking down to people condescending way, like she's such a genius, as she's literally saying that the sanctions are going to work right before the sanctions didn't work, like 24 hours before, and the sanctions absolutely did the opposite of working. And then the White House told us that they never believed the sanctions were going to work in the first place, and that we just all imagined that Kamala said that. Like, it shows such an incredible lack of respect for people's intelligence that they go out here and say this stuff and like gaslight and claim they never said things that they said. And then they have the nerve to do this. Where was Kamala when she was talking about this today, when she said that, when elections have consequences in that clip? Do you know what event that was at? But yeah,
she was with Biden at
was this the Black History Month thing? Was this the Black History Month thing where Jill Biden introduced her too? This is yeah, that's a good one. I don't know what Tom's doing over there, but
hey.
So
Can you hear us?
can we hear any Kamala audio or no?
Hold on.
So, but yeah, Kamala has no respect for the American people whatsoever, and she like shows it every time she goes out there. She just doesn't care enough to do the job. And like all this footage of Biden like turning away from reporter questions, leaving the room. There's the footage of him like walking across the White House lawn today, like ignoring reporter questions about should we be worried about a nuclear war. It's getting harder and harder to buy potassium iodide online. I had a ton of questions about it the last couple days ever since I said it on our show. And it's like crazy. Like people are seriously worried that we're going to end up in a nuclear conflict here. And I wouldn't put it past the stupid Biden administration to be that dumb to do that. Seriously.
But yeah, and to go past your volume is here. You can just up it down. Go back to that. First of all, that footage of him walking today was the most stunning thing that I've ever seen. It was shocking. I didn't know you had a mute button. Look at you. It was the most shocking thing I've ever seen. He looked like a guy who was, if you guys didn't see it, Alice, I'm sure, has tweeted it. If not, she will tweet it from Burn Barrel Podcast or wherever. But it shows Biden plodding along into the Oval Office, into the West Wing. And he is walking are you going to try to grab it now?
I'm looking for it right now, yes.
In my opinion, Alice, he's overcompensating while walking. It seems to me that that's how you'd walk if you want to show everybody that you can absolutely walk normal. But it doesn't look like anything. It looks like overcompensating.
Yeah, he's very deliberate in how he places his feet. He also had his mask on the entire time as he's outside completely by himself with no one around for a football field of space around him. So just
what is that?
Where we are. Even though the CDC said vaccinated people don't even need to wear masks like inside with other people unless they're very high risk.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, that is terrible.
So much for following the science. But yeah, his gait is bizarre. He has reporters shouting questions at him about nuclear war, and he just ignores everybody and like very carefully steps along to the White House. He almost looks like he's marching. It's very bizarre.
Yes, it's like lift right leg, extend forward, lift left leg, extend forward. It ain't good.
Super weird.
Or whatsoever. Yeah, it is bad. It's a bad situation. I did think it was interesting as well. David Frum had these bunch of tweets that I didn't hate completely. I thought were interesting. Then again, I don't know what's up and what's down anymore, and neither does anybody else. And he's lost his mind, obviously. But listen to this. This is David Frum. Said, an idea. Any Russian officer above a certain rank who participates in shelling of civilian targets in Ukraine will face lifetime travel ban for himself and family. Confiscation of any financial or real estate assets that can be located in any EU, US, or UK jurisdiction. Any active duty Russian officer above a certain rank who resigns commission can claim asylum in EU, US, or UK for himself and family, with assets immediately exempted from Western sanctions. Number 3, senior Russian officers who defect from the West before a certain date and who do not have assets under Western jurisdiction could be paid pensions equal to those paid to the U.S. officers of equivalent rank and service. And he finishes with exit ramps. I think that's the kind of at least psyops and propaganda you'd want out there. I think that's smart.
Yeah, it's a really smart idea. I actually saw some people floating something like this on Twitter over the last few days, which is, I think, like where this came from. I think it's from like the Twitter hive mind. Like people were saying this online, like they should offer people money to defect. Because at least, even if they don't, it's now something that the Russian military has to worry about, right?
Well, oh, totally.
They have to wonder if their
Well,
troops are going to hear about this and try and do this.
Well, it's a very Putin idea.
Mhm.
Sow discord and discontent in the Russian ranks. They're already not into this war. They're already.
Mhm.
You've already heard all sorts of stories about how they're like, why am I fighting my cousin? And that's what.
Yeah, they're like, I thought I was just showing up for training exercises and my
Right,
tank showed
yeah.
up here. Like,
Yeah, and like I vacation here and ski here. What are we doing? Why am I supposed to kill everybody here? And it's weird. It's weird. This could be the first time. You see also that. Oh, you must have loved it, of course. The blonde chick in the tank. I don't know if that's real or not, but did you see her?
yeah, I don't know if it's real or not either. I did
Yeah.
see it. It's showing people how to use a captured Russian tank. I think that's more propaganda. I'm suspicious of anything with hot chicks in it, frankly.
She's not
Like,
that hot, so I'm thinking it might be real.
I don't know. I don't know,
For
but
people in tanks, she's pretty hot.
yeah, generally for that Amelia, I would say. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody, including the Ukrainians, including the EU, like feels good about US leadership on these issues right now, or any issues, but like this one especially. And I think Putin wouldn't be trying this if he didn't think the US was being run by morons. But can we hear any of that Kamala and Jill Biden audio today?
Oh, okay. Let me start with Kamala.
Because as we all know, elections matter. And when folks vote, they order what they want. And in this case, they got what they asked for. I went off script a little bit.
Oh man, she's great. She's great.
They got what they asked for. I mean, like, fair,
What a
accurate.
room.
But I didn't ask for it. Can I possibly like get my money back or something for this whole presidency? I'm like really not enjoying it right now, and I would appreciate like not having the inflation, the threat of nuclear war, the incredibly high gas prices.
But you know what I like about her is that this administration, as we've talked about, it never stops gaslighting. She's kind of a breath of fresh air in the sense that she's completely oblivious. No, she's not feeling stress. She's not concerned. She doesn't know or care that there's a crisis. She doesn't really have much to do. Something that's refreshing about it. It's almost like
It's literally like we're in an episode of Veep.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Okay, so here's Jill Biden.
As many of you know, our vice president's historic path to the White House began before she could even walk, marching with her parents in the civil rights movement, or at least being pushed in a stroller. Since then, she has dedicated her life to pursuing justice and opportunity for all. She is a partner to Joe, especially on issues like voting rights, and is proud to be the first, but not the last. Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, the vice president of the I just said that to make you laugh. The Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Woof. Well, there you go.
It's hard to know what's the worst part of that whole thing.
Ugh.
It's like incredibly uncomfortable on a variety of levels. I don't know, even like,
Yeah.
I just, and like, okay, like I know Kamala's the first Black woman vice president and all this stuff, but like I kind of think it's embarrassing to like associate Black History Month with her. You not?
I disagree.
Someone backstage, so I witnessed this, as I write about in the book, from my stroller's eye view. And there's a funny family story about how, so my mother's marching with the extended family. I talk about like Aunt Mary and Uncle Freddie in the book. And she would tell the story about how, so they're marching. And this is back when strollers didn't really have armrests and seatbelts. So
Very
they're
funny.
marching away and, shouting and all of that. And then I think it was my Uncle Freddie, looked down and looked in the stroller, which was empty, and said, "Where's Kamala?" And apparently they left me like a block behind. I'd fallen out the stroller.
That's Jonathan Capehart, who's a journalist for MSNBC.
Tell a funny story about how, like, one day and I was fussing and so I'm fussing and fussing. It's much cuter when she would tell the story, but she'd say,
It's
so then
not
she would look
possible.
down at me and, Kamala, what do you want? What do you want? And I looked back up at her and I said, freedom.
It's a journalist laughing with her.
Mhm.
I'm so glad
There
you
you go.
told that story on your own, because I was going to ask you, because I wanted to hear you say freedom.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty
Because
bad.
in those debates, you landed haymakers on Joe Biden. I mean, his teeth were like chiclets all over the stage. And now I believe you that you're fully supportive of him. How does that transition happen? How do you go from being such a passionate opponent on such bedrock principles for you, and now you guys seem to be pals?
It was a debate.
Not everybody landed punches like you did, though.
It was a debate.
So you don't mean it.
It was a debate. That the whole reason, literally, it was a debate. It was called a debate.
I understand.
Traveled to the debate. There were journalists there covering the debate, where there would be a debate.
There you go.
I just sent you one more Kamala video too, if you want to see what.
That should be the last time that Stephen Colbert was ever on the air. Can you imagine?
It's terrible. It's terrible. But this stuff is everywhere. It's in your schools. It's on your. It's on your TV. We didn't.
Show, I guess. Yeah.
We didn't do it on this, but yeah, this was what our daughter came to show us on her Disney Now app. In the Black History Month, it popped up and told her it's Black History Month. Listen to this.
He's painting
Once,
a picture
there
of
was
Kamala
a young
Harris.
girl who used her voice to make the world around her a better place. Some say the odds were stacked against her, but her mother had big plans for this little flower who had freedom fighting in her blood. She led a successful protest so kids could continue to play. She was not going to let the grass grow under her feet.
Can we fact check that last part?
About her successful protest to get to play?
Kids could play. Let kids play. Oh my God, Disney. Really? You just give her that?
She joined a worldwide sisterhood and became part of a divine group of leaders.
This is the same group, the sorority that's mad in Connecticut, that white girls did their dance or something. So they're for the other sorority, so they're in trouble. They've been suspended.
She rose to places that no woman had. From front lawn activist to Madam Vice President. She will use her voice to run this nation and inspire it too. Kamala Harris, making her story.
You know, if anybody had a sense of humor in the world, there'd be at least one like quick shot of Willie Brown.
No, they don't have that kind of sense of humor, that's for sure. But like this weird, they said she's part of a divine group of leaders, like right in there. And they're telling us she's making the world a better place. And this came out last Black History Month. So it's when she had been the vice president for about like 3 minutes. And you would think they would feel bad by now, a year later, and be like, maybe we should like hold off on playing our Kamala Harris as a saint in the pantheon of Black History Month. But, and just see where this goes, because it's looking like this could turn into an embarrassing proposition for everybody. But no, they're just running with it.
Well, but also, we also like in my radio station, we play these PSAs for Black History Month. and
Mhm.
one of them is with who's the Morgan Freeman. Morgan
Okay.
Freeman grew up whatever. He became an iconic. I'm like, geez, can't you guys like find some people who've done stuff other than the people who are on People Magazine? Like, can you find an engineer? I'm sure they're out there. You know, find a tech guy, find a CEO of something, find somebody who did something. It's like you're scraping the top layer of top of mind black people in the country, saying, "Oh, let's see, we'll do Oprah, Morgan Freeman, LeBron." It's like, come on, find some
No.
real people.
Yeah, but they can't do like Ben Carson
No,
or
obviously not.
they
Clarence Thomas, no way, no.
no, they
No,
can't.
those are
So that
crazy. Those are white supremacists. You can't have them. But I understand. But I mean, just find somebody. Find somebody else. You know, find somebody who did something somewhere and made a difference somewhere. But they don't. You know, whatever. I just think it's interesting. Like, whatever. No, you know what, Alice? I'm gonna turn my frown upside down. Oh, you're gonna like the setup, by the way, that's here for you. You're
Oh
gonna like
yeah.
it.
Should I bring this mic that's here with me?
Yes.
This one and my little like clamp to
Bring
put
the
it on
mic.
something.
Bring
A
your clamp and bring your
camera
camera and the light.
and my light. Mhm.
Yeah, I guess so. Um, and that's it. But yeah. So that's where we are right now. Let's see. Anything else that we missed, Alice? What did we miss? We've already gotten Kamala. There's a girl in the tank. Obviously, I choose to believe that that she's a real tank girl too. Although I don't know that she is.
There's your 80s rock star, whatever he is that I had never
Oh
heard of.
yeah.
He's very mad at all of us. And
Marks.
coincidentally, um liking Putin is aligned with a whole bunch of other stuff that he doesn't like. So, he went on Twitter, I guess this is the day before yesterday. This is Richard Marks. I don't know who that is. Have I heard of anything he's
In
done?
the late 80s, maybe early 90s. You would probably know. I will be right there waiting for you.
I'm
He
not
had
sure.
a couple
Maybe if I heard it, I don't know.
he was fine back then. I but my thing is, and you can read his tweet. He's one of these guys who lashes out a lot of people.
Yeah, so he says, to those of us who are actual patriots, it is and has always been crystal clear. If you're a white nationalist, if you're praising Putin, like, okay, those are fine. Like, if you're a white nationalist or you like Putin, like, okay. If you're against CRT, if you want to make it harder for people of color to vote, if you defend January 6th, you are a traitor and an enemy of democracy.
So my only problem with him
Mm-hmm.
is that for a creative guy, and that's what he does, and it's much like Stephen King. For a creative guy to take the literal, rundown points from Rachel Maddow, like word for word, is just disappointing. It's disappointing, and I would feel the same way if somebody spoke exactly like Hannity, into it direct, taking his verbiage. That's just like so lazy. It's so disappointing. You're literally white supremacist. Like, you're buying that? Like, when you started hearing that white supremacy all over the place, did you ever think to say to yourself, is that true? Is white supremacy all over the place? Did you ever vet it? Did you ever decide to have any kind of intellectual honesty filter in your mind, or a vetting process where you'd say, okay, at least I'm not going to use their verbiage because it's anti-intellectual and dumb, and I don't want to stand behind it. There are ways to say, but they don't. If you're anti-CRT, God,
It's the same as being a white supremacist and being pro-Putin.
right. It's so monotonous. So monotonous.
It's so stupid. It's like everything. This
year's
coincidentally lines up with everything I believe. Just coincidentally, the
Right.
Ukraine war is about CRT and January
Right.
6th, actually, just by a total happenstance. By total happenstance. And then there's people who've just lost their minds, too. Bill Kristol tweeted today, President Biden's leadership in the Ukraine crisis has been truly impressive. We're coming out of the pandemic at last, and we have a fine Supreme Court nominee. Like, what planet are you actually on? Like, why is he doing this? He used to be a relatively normal person.
Well, I think that maybe there's just more utility at this point for him in being a deserter.
But literally nobody even thinks that. Like, not even Democrats think his leadership has been truly
No.
impressive and he's doing an
No,
amazing job.
they were mauling him on the weekend shows. Chuck Todd started, I don't know if I mentioned this last night, but started with a montage talking about how the administration people were talking about how this would be a deterrent, all the sanctions that Putin would move, and then contradicting themselves. And it was clearly an FU by Chuck Todd.
Right.
But the last thing is, Alice, miraculously tomorrow,
Mhm.
we'll watch it together, the State of the Union address. And wouldn't you know, just today, the CDC has said, Congress has decided that the masks.
Yeah, the Congress doctor or whatever they
Yes, the
have.
masks now can come off. My goodness. So now
That's so lucky. Wow.
I know. There is, you know what? If I just could have the luck that those people over there have, they are truly lucky, 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 lucky people.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
320 and get up here.
I'll be coming to visit you shortly, Thomas. But first I'm going to try and get this video edited and put up for all our awesome listeners who can also talk to us on Twitter at Burn Barrel Pod or at facebook.com/Burn Barrel Podcast. You can go to burnbarrelpodcast.com. There's a list there of like all the places you can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can email us at burnbarrelpodcast@gmail.com.
C'est la vie.